Hi guys, welcome to Facebook Live. I'm your host, Rose.
And I'm your host, Lauren.
And today we have a very special guest because we are celebrating National Veterinary Technician Week.
Hooray!
We'll get into our special guest in 1 second, but first let's do a couple of do's and don'ts. Lauren, do you want to run us through a couple of things you should do while you're watching today and a couple of things that you should not do while you're watching today?
Sure thing, Rose. So thing number one is it's Vet Tech Week. This is a big deal. It happens once a year. You guys are super special. So today is all about celebrating you. And if you have any friends, you have a lot of friends who are vet techs in the profession, would be interested in this, please share so that they can see it too. We want everybody to join in the celebration today. And definitely engage with us, comment. We love, to see what you guys have to say and to interact with you guys. But what you shouldn't do is post any personal information in the comments because they are public. So if you want to talk to us directly, please send us a message on our Facebook page, or you can call Student Services at 1-888-427-1000. And if you're not a Penn Foster student yet, but you would like to be, if you want to learn more, call admissions at 1-888-427-6500, and we'd be so happy to talk to you.
All right. Yes. And if you have any friends that are thinking about becoming a vet tech, any friends that are currently vet techs, any friends that are looking to become a vet tech in any way, whether they've gone through school or not, share this with them because there's going to be a lot of really helpful information in here. And we have a whole week of fun information. All right. Well, let's introduce Megan Chadwick. Why can't I talk? Megan Chadwick, director of the Veterinary Academy for Penn Foster. Megan, you're kind of a big deal.
Huge deal.
Can we get to know you a little bit better? Do you want to tell us what you do and any fun facts that you have, really?
Sure. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Megan, and I am the director of the Vet Academy. And I'm also a credentialed veterinary technician. So like all of you out there, future and current veterinary technicians, this week is to celebrate all of us. I've been a technician for over 10 years now. I worked in clinic for a number of years before I worked over in education.
And you're a new mom.
And I'm a new mom, so you may hear my son during this, but he's also rooting everybody on and celebrating Vet Tech Week as well.
He's really cute. But I love the cheers.
So this week, Veterinary Technician Week, as you know, is October 17th through October 11th through the 17th, 2020. Having one of those days. And the theme is, this is who we are and this is what we do. So I'm very excited about it all together. I'm a huge vet tech fan. I'm such a big fan of our vet tech students and graduates because I feel like vet techs do some of the most selfless work, for animals. And I'm an animal lover, so I appreciate you guys so much.
Absolutely. And you guys are so enthusiastic and you all have such good energy, and it just makes all of Penn Foster feel like such a great community and such a great place. So you really deserve the celebration this week for sure.
Yes. So we'll be talking about celebrating the work of veterinary technicians across the country. Also, why we celebrate it at Penn Foster, and we want to show appreciation. So let's jump in. Let's jump in a little bit.
All right. So the first question we want to ask you, Megan, is what is Veterinary Technician Week, in case there are people watching who don't know?
Yeah, so Veterinary Technician Week is a week dedicated to celebrating and bringing awareness to the profession. And it's just a week just showing everything that we do for our communities, for our pets, for other people's pets.
So speaking of veterinary technicians, it's just a thing with me today. I keep tripping over myself. What is the role of a veterinary technician exactly? Like what do they really, what's the, a day in the life? What do they do?
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much we do it all. The only things that we can't do are, diagnose and, really prescribe medication. But other than that, if it's done in a clinic or at a hospital, we can do it. We work with clients and we educate the public on, keeping our animals healthy and safe. We, of course, assist with procedures, anything from, dentals to surgeries. We help and perform, physical exams, vaccinations. And, we also, have to do some of the other things that, maybe are, not the most fun, like clean up and prep. Technicians really do it all. And I think that's why this year's theme is so great, because it really shows, this is who we are and this is what we do.
Yeah. And it's important to know that, because I think everyone just thinks, when you think of bringing your animal to the vet, it's to the vet, it's like
right.
To the veterinarian. But you see, all these techs working. I think sometimes I only see a tech sometimes for some small things like
tech appointments are becoming a big thing just on their own. You can just make an appointment with a veterinary technician.
Yeah. There are. Yes, absolutely correct. Sometimes it's vaccination. Sometimes, it might be even something like a nail trim, a little bit more basic, but yeah, some appointments are just.
Sorry, a vet tech
go ahead.
With surgery even?
Yes. Yeah. So we play a big role in surgery. We don't perform the surgery, but, we do anesthesia. We get the, patient prepped for surgery. We hand the, instruments and things like that to the doctor and assist however needed.
Yeah. So veterinary, I know we've heard the two terms like veterinary technicians and veterinary nurses, and it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just a little different depending on the state or the area that you're in.
Why is credentialing important for veterinary technicians? Because I know that's a popular question we see.
Right. So, credentialing is important, and it's especially important, depending on your state. There are certain states where you have to be credentialed to be able to do certain tasks. And it's important just because, that's pretty much what you're going to school for, right? The end is, you want to be, of course, a graduate of an AVMA accredited program, but you really want to sit and take your VTNE, the Veterinary Technician National Exam, which is a national credentialing exam that, you're eligible to take. And that will give you that designation. So it's kind of like, a nurse going to nursing school and not, getting their licensure. So.
Right. Oh, right. So that's extremely important.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of times, if you're credentialed, you will get, a pay increase versus somebody that's not. And it also, gives you, if somebody's clinic is hiring, if you have that credential over somebody that doesn't, you might get chosen over that person.
Yeah.
How do you become credentialed?
That's a great question. So to become credentialed, and again, this is depending on your state, but for 99% of the time, you have to complete a veterinary technician. You have to go to veterinary technician school like Penn, Foster, or Ashford, and has to be AVMA accredited. So once you graduate from a vet tech program, you can sit to take the VTNE. And then if you pass, again, depending on your state, you have that credential. Some states require an additional exam, like a state exam. So that is how you would become credentialed vet tech.
And once you're finished with the Penn Foster Veterinary Technician exam, you are eligible to sit for the VTNE, right?
Yeah, so once you complete our program, you are eligible to sit for the VTNE because we are AVMA accredited.
Right, which is, we're fully accredited, right?
Fully accredited, yes.
Yeah. Big deal.
So then what's the whole process to become a veterinary technician if you're somebody who's just thinking about entering the profession?
Yeah, so really what you want to do is, of course, enroll into the program. If you're not working in the clinic, and you want to enroll, that's perfectly fine. I actually had no veterinary experience when I first went to school. The only time I had ever set foot in a veterinary clinic was to take my own animals. So that, if you are somebody that's working already in the field and, maybe you're working as a veterinary assistant and you want to, get the additional skills and move up within your clinic, you can, enroll into a program like ours. And then once you graduate, you can, use that designation veterinary technician.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I have a quick question just about our veterinary technician bachelor's degree program.
Sure.
Once you're finished with the 2-year, what is why continue with the 4-year program?
Sure. So to be a veterinary technician is the 2-year program. And then if you complete the 4-year program, you're actually considered a veterinary technologist. Now you don't have to you don't have to be licensed or credentialed to take the bachelor's degree, but you do have to have graduated from an AVMA accredited vet tech program. When you take the bachelor's program, you're going to learn a little bit more advanced skills. You're going to learn a little bit more in depth about anesthesia, things like the human-animal bond, pharmacology. You're kind of taking that extra step to, become more knowledgeable. And, as a veterinary technician, we also have the option to specialize and become the veterinary technician specialist. And this program, the bachelor's program, kind of helps you to find your path into what you're kind of interested in and prepare you for the types of tasks you will have to do to become that BTS.
I would just oh,
go ahead, Laura.
Okay, mine will be really quick. I just want to give a shout out to everybody who has been through any vet tech program and is working as a vet tech, because as you were just going through what these programs are like, what a day in the life is like today is so much about celebration, and vet techs have to know so much. They have to go through so much to work in the profession. And then they do so much to help animals and the people that they work with and pet owners. And it's a big deal. So shout out to all you guys who are watching that you're already a vet tech, because you do incredible work. You
really do incredible. I mean, I say this time and time again, but just how grateful I am for everyone in the veterinary field, and especially vet techs, because they're just the unsung heroes, and they're doing a lot of work behind the scenes. And like I said, you think of the veterinarian, but when do you think of the vet tech? And it definitely is really good that there's at least 1 week dedicated to celebrating vet techs.
Very much deserved. And that actually brings me to another kind of discussion area. Is I feel like the pandemic really changed the level of importance of veterinary technicians, because everything is different now in the world we live in pretty much, but the importance of veterinary technicians, I feel like, has really increased. Megan, can you tell us a little bit about what you've seen and the changes in veterinary medicine and how the role of the veterinary technician is just increasingly more important than ever?
Yeah, so I mean, vet techs are essential personnel. They've been working throughout this entire pandemic for the most part. And since the pandemic, we've really seen an increase of appointments for new pets. As some of you may or may not have heard, a lot of shelters for a while were empty of animals because everybody was home by themselves and lonely. So one really great thing that happened was people went out and adopted animals from shelters.
Love that.
Yeah, but that really, yeah. Rose, I see a tear.
Yeah.
But that really caused an increase in demand for wellness visits and just regular visits for people that are adopting those new pets. And then also, of course, we want to keep our veterinary, professionals and our pet parents safe. So with the pandemic, we want to social distance as well. So it changed a lot of the way that, clinics function and how appointments function, where it switched to a lot of curbside. And what that means is that, owners are no longer, able to go into the clinic with their pets during a visit, which is stressful, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like your child. So I mean, like when you take your child to the doctor, like you're going to want to go in and be with them and like assure them. But it just shows all the compassion that, is in this field and veterinary technicians have. They're being the advocates for, the patients and the pet parents when they can't be there. And we're also seeing an increase in the use of telemedicine, just like in the human fields. They're doing, appointments, over Zoom or over the phone or other types of, video conferences.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That could come in handy. I've had a lot of vet appointments since because I do have 5 animals.
Yeah.
Actually, I had 6. I had a cat who passed away. He had kidney failure, which is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
And that was through the pandemic. And I'll tell you what, like the vet techs were so, because it was challenging because, having to put a cat down in the middle of a pandemic when you can't be with the cat is terrible. But they did make sure that there was, that there was like a quarantined path for us to go on, that we could wear masks so we could be in the same room for a little while. And it was just really compassionate care, especially during a pandemic. And I really appreciate vet techs and the veterinary field for realizing that pets are your family.
Yeah.
It's,
oh, sorry.
It's almost like your vet techs and you work with animals, but you're also working with people just as much.
Right.
And there's that element of compassion and knowing what to say and how to be thoughtful and all of those little pieces that go into being a vet tech that are so important because you're dealing with plenty of different species,
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't just like an increase of wellness visits, but there's like an increase of, non-wellness visits because people are starting to notice a lot of issues with their animals that they may not have noticed before because they're spending a lot more time with them.
Right. Yeah, no, it's true. I know that my local veterinarian's office is booked for a month because they were, so it's kind of tough. Like I wish I could get my animals in a little bit sooner, but because everyone sort of took a little bit of a mini break in the middle of the summer and the spring, and now they're like backlogged for the people that are now like, oh, I should get my animals to the vet. It's been a little while. Or like Megan said, they're seeing their animals and they're paying closer attention. And now they're like, oh, well, this is a thing. So vet techs right now are also very busy, which you would think that it would be a slow time, but it's a really busy time.
Oh, yes, very busy.
That leads me to another question, which is, I know Dr. Jim, who runs the Facebook group, he's the director emeritus of the Veterinary Academy, and he and I were talking a little bit about how he is really focusing on hope and encouragement this Vet Tech Week because of all the stress that veterinary technicians are under working in the pandemic and having to deal with a lot of like these difficult circumstances and being so compassionate and so giving when, they're stressed. I wanted to get your thoughts too on that, Megan, and kind of what vet techs are going through right now and encouragement.
Yeah, I mean, mental health is so important, especially in the veterinary field that has, sadly, one of the highest suicide rates out there. So I know that, a lot of veterinary professionals are really bringing awareness to, mental well-being and making sure that, we put our oxygen masks on first before we're taking care of others, because we need to make sure that we're healthy and safe. So that way we can make sure that all of the lovely animals in the world are getting the care that they need. So it's really great that we're able to incorporate that into our Vet Tech Week because it's important that we each take a time. Yeah, it's a week for other people to celebrate us, but we need to celebrate ourselves and, give ourselves that, recognition and break that we all deserve.
Absolutely. So deserved.
Yeah, it's selfless work. It really is selfless work. And it's easy to get caught up taking care of everybody else and everybody else's animals and feeling all that emotional weight. And it's very important to, pat yourself on the back and be proud of yourself and also give yourself a break every now and again. And definitely, like you said, take care of yourself first.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. What would you say to someone who's considering becoming a veterinary technician, but is feeling a little concerned about maybe some of those pieces, maybe some of those, heavier emotional parts of being a veterinary technician? What would you say to them?
I would say the best thing that they could do is to, well, it's a little bit harder now, because of the pandemic, but shadowing is a really great, if you have that opportunity, if you're in an area that is still allowing people to come in and shadow, or even after the pandemic, get in there and shadow, interview other veterinary professionals, talk to veterinary professionals, get an understanding of what it's like for their day-to-day. I think like you just really, if you have a love for animals and, of course, like we all, like, who doesn't love puppies and kitties, right? Like we all love that. But I mean, like if you have a passion for, medicine and, making sure that, there's, better quality of life for both, pet parents and animals. I mean, I would say try it out, Yeah.
So what would you say to veterinary technicians this week as they're celebrating Vet Tech Week?
That's fun.
Yeah, I would just say, like, go you. I mean, I mean, students that are taking the program, people that are working in clinic, like, I give you like so many kudos. I mean, it's a great profession and we do so much, and this is your time to, like, brag about yourself. I know, like, we're all, we're like always like, yeah, I'm a veterinary technician, and the doctors sometimes get a lot of recognition, but like, no, brag. You deserve it.
Oh, definitely.
You have an excuse this week.
Yeah.
You can say it's Vet Tech Week.
For sure.
You know what else? You kind of brought to mind that you were saying, like, work with somebody in the veterinary field, or if you can shadow, or, talk to vet techs. If you're out there and you're thinking about becoming a veterinary technician, you can join the veterinary, our Facebook group, right?
Yes.
So that isn't just for students and graduates. That's for anyone who's considering the program. If you wanted to ask somebody who was in the program and be like, well, how is it? Or what's it like to be a graduate? What's it like to be working in the field? Like, you have that arena there to, you have that audience and that community on our Facebook page. So we could share that in the comments.
For sure. And to anybody who is currently a vet tech or thinking about becoming a vet tech, I do just want to talk a little bit about our other webinars and things we have going on this week. So if you're already on our Facebook page, we do have an event set up with links to register for absolutely everything. And I know we're highlighting a few of our amazing sessions too. But I'll just talk about a few right now. We have one with pet insurance provider Trupanion, and for anybody who is studying to be a vet tech or is a vet tech, they're going to talk about how to talk to pet owners about pet insurance, because I know that's a question a lot of you get all the time. And so it's more of a teaching opportunity so that you don't feel intimidated if you get that question, and they'll help you through that. Dr. Jim will be leading the 5th annual Distinguished Student Webinar, and he told me he has some amazing graduates and students to feature in this, and it is sure to be very emotional and also very motivational. And I think he'll be talking a lot about his hope and encouragement theme in that webinar too. And we have the Recover CPR Initiative webinar to talk about that. We have a webinar on positivity. We've talked about, like, this is a week to take care of yourself and check in. And so that'll be great for that. And then we'll be doing 2 distinguished faculty webinars. So you can meet our awesome faculty who are here for you all the time and are doing so much great work. So we want to give you guys the chance to get to know them. In addition, tomorrow on Banfield President's Brian Garish's Instagram, that was a mouthful, sorry. He'll be interviewing our graduate of the year, who's also a Banfield associate, Kiana. So that one you do not want to miss. You can watch that on the Penn Foster Instagram. She'll be joining Brian through our Instagram or on Brian Garish's Instagram. That's happening at 12:15 on Eastern time on Instagram. So be sure to tune in then. We have some blogs going out, and of course, our Alumni Spotlight podcast. We are adding 3 new podcasts that are interviews of veterinary technicians this week. So we literally have a super full schedule of great stories and great events that you can join to celebrate this week, learn, and network. So we're really excited.
And they're free, right?
All free.
All free. So why not? Vet Tech Week is always such an exciting and fun week.
It is.
Year. There's always so much amazing knowledge and so many people willing to, have a free webinar and volunteer some of their time to teaching people like the tricks of the trade and details about the profession and like Trupanion or, any of these companies that also are reaching out to help just educate people in any way that they can. I think it's really nice how everyone comes together.
It really is.
Beautiful thing.
Definitely. Well, Megan, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so happy to have you and Ryan cheering us on in the background too, and all of our vet techs.
You did. Yes, thank you guys for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. And way to go, all you vet techs out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay, it's your week.
Go vet techs.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Happy Vet Tech Week.
Bye.